Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are starting to learn about prime and composite numbers. So by the end of math class today, you will be able to identify if a number is prime or composite. Before we get started on your whiteboard or piece of paper, I'd like you to just do a review question, round 123,580 to the nearest thousand. Pause your video and then check back with me. Awesome. So what you should have done is because we're rounding to the nearest thousand, you underline your thousands place. We look to our right. We say our riddle. 0 to 4, stay on the floor. 5 to 9, climb the vine. Because it's a 5, we're going to climb that vine, which means the number we underlined gets bigger. All the numbers after become big, fat, juicy zeros, and the numbers before stay the same. So what you should have is 124,000. That's, oh, can't really see that good, sorry, is rounded to the nearest thousand. All right, let's keep moving. Some vocabulary words that I want you to notice: factor, product, prime, and composite. By the end of class today, I want you to be able to know what these ones mean, and I want you to use them when we're talking this next few weeks in math. Don't forget that there's a Quizlet for you to practice that talks about these precise words. Let's first start with factors. We have a quick video to watch with what a factor is. So let's go ahead and start that. Hopefully it's not too loud.
F-A-C-T-O-R-S with the factors. We go into a bigger number evenly. Yeah, don't get it backwards. F-A-C-T-O-R-S with the factors. We go into a bigger number evenly. Yeah, don't get it backwards. Factors go into a bigger number evenly with nothing left over, believe in me. Memorize your times table, write an after. All numbers have one as a factor, because all numbers can be divided by one with no remainder. That's how it's done. If you have a number and you need to know all its factors, just start the show. We figure out our factors, closing the curtain. Let's try 32, see how it's working. The first combo, we can multiply to get 32. It's 1 and 32, like the one on the left, 32 over there. Now we try 2 to find the next pair. 2 goes in the 32, 16 times, so we write the 16 on the right hand side. Next up is 3. Well, let's see, the 3 goes to 32 naively, so it's not a factor. But what about 4? That goes in 8 times, yeah, for sure. 5, 6, and 7, they don't go. And now you can see that the curtain is closed. That's all the factors for 32 to show. Now hit the spotlight for the next show. If a number only has 2 factors, except in the number 1, then the fact is we call that number prime. Like Optimus Prime, the one of a kind. 3 is prime, so a 5 is 7. 9's not prime, but there's prime at 11. 101, that's certainly prime. So it's 3,559. F-A-C-T-O-R.
All right, friends. So that's all about factors. Fun song, right? So a factor is numbers that you multiply to get a product. So for example, a factor times a factor equals a product. Let me give you an example. If we have 2 times 3, it equals 6. Our factors are 2 and 3. The best part about factors, it doesn't matter which way you multiply them, they give you the same product. So a factor times a factor equals a product. They're the numbers you multiply to get an answer for multiplication. So that brings us to our next term, and that's called product. Product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So for example, excuse me, 2 times 3, the answer or the product is 6. Okay, let's keep moving. Some other, I think you heard it in the video, another precise word was prime, a prime number. A prime number means there's only two factors. For example, 7 is prime because I can only, to get to 7, multiply two numbers, 1 and 7. There's another video about this. I'm going to show it to you tomorrow, all about prime numbers, okay? Now, the opposite is composite. A composite number has more than two factors. So for example, the number 24 is composite because look at all these numbers that we can multiply by, or these factors, to get to 24. 1 times 24, 1 in itself. 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. All of those are factors. I like to think of composite because it has a lot of letters, that it has a lot of factors, where prime is 1 and me, only 1 in itself. So I want to model for you some different things. You know how in writing class we have to write complete sentences. We have capitals, we have punctuation. It's the same for math. We need to have those complete sentences. So first what we have is we're trying to identify or find if the number 4 is prime or composite. So let's try it out. I need to come up with a multiplication sentence to get to 4. So how can I multiply to get to the number 4? Different ways we can do this. We can divide, or if you're someone that knows your multiplication facts, this is probably pretty easy for you. For example, I know that 1 times 4 is 4. And I also know 2 times 2 is 4. These are my multiplication sentences. Now, because I see that there's more than just 1 and me, there's actually another factor, I can figure something out. So let's list our factors. We have 1, 2, and 4. I don't have to write 2 times because it's the same thing. So I know it has 1, 2, 3 factors, which is definitely more than 1 and me. So I know this is a composite number. Okay? I know this is composite. 4 is a composite number. So we had our multiplication sentences, our factors, then we could identify. I'd like you to try this one. The number's 12. So try thinking of different numbers that can be multiplied to get to 12. For example, we know 1 and 12 can be multiplied to get to 12. Then I want you to try the number 2. Can I multiply something by 2 to get to the number 12? Pause your video and write your multiplication sentence, factors, and then tell me, is it prime or composite? Go for it. Awesome. If you want to take a second to double check what you wrote on your whiteboard to what I wrote. I came up with a lot of factors. I had 5 factors. 1 in me, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. So I know because it had more than 2 factors that this was a composite number. Let's try another. The number is 13. I want you to go ahead, pause your video, try to come up. So you may want to skip count. Can I multiply by 2? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Ooh, no. I'll try 3. So pause your video and then check back with me. I could only come up with 2 factors, 1 and me, 1 and 13. So because there's only 2 factors, I know the answer is prime. Okay, so now let's go ahead and we're going to classify these numbers. The factor pairs for 28. So I'm trying to come up with ways to multiply to get to 28. First and foremost, before we do anything, I know 1 and 28 are going to get me 28, 1 and me. Let's try 2s. So try to see if you can skip count by 2s to get to 28. Go ahead, pause your video, and then double check with me. All right, friends. So I went through and I used skip counting to double check. And I skip counted by twos. Threes didn't work for me. Fours did. Fives didn't work for me. So I stopped there. I was able to come up with 6 factor pairs to get to 28. Therefore, I knew that this number was composite. Let's go ahead and try to classify the number 29 to identify some factor pairs to multiply to get 29. Pause your video, try it out, and then double check with me. Awesome. So here we have that we only came up with 1 and me. We only came up with 1 and 29. Therefore, we know it is a prime number. Today, what I'd like you to do is I'm going to skip this one and for the sake of time, and I want you to give me an example of a prime number. So if you're in your classroom, you're just going to hold up your whiteboard, be it all-star, and write down the factors, 1 and me, for prime. So give any example of a prime number. If you're at home, you could either take a picture of this, or you could just send me an email typing what an example of a prime number is. Okay? All right, guys, thanks for identifying prime numbers with me and composite numbers.